been a long road since the original Kicker christened that first pickup truck. It kicked off a car audio renaissance, and upgrading your music in a vehicle was a requirement. America's music machines became living loud over your passion, your emotion, your existence. Outdoors or on the open road, your sound is Kicker.
It's the Kip and Dave Show.
Excitement.
Are you ready?
22. We're doing it one more time. We're going to do another one. We're going to do this right this time.
Weeka.
Check. I'm speedless.
Camera adds 27 pounds.
Okay.
It just seems like a
I know.
abrupt it's just
kind of, yeah.
This is Dave.
And Kip.
Come check us out. This is Kip.
And Dave.
And I got it wrong again. And we're going to have to do this again because we went down a different trail. Until then, this is Dave.
And Kip.
Come check us out. Come check us out.
Yeah.
Wiki.
I think that's good.
Just pick one. God, I hate the ending. There's no way to end this.
Just say, come see us. Just come see us. And just come see us.
So.
Come see us at the two locations.
God, it just seems so hard.
Oh, howdy. Delmar Hogwallop here, coming to you from outside Mildred's Bait Shop and Lingerie. Want to appreciate you all coming, giving a look-see in on the Kicker Unmasked show. Those folks at Kicker, salt to the earth, make some of the finest gear ever tickle your ear. So, mighty fine of you to come take some time off and check them out. And remember, whether you're looking for night crawlers or nighties, Mildred's is your place. So once again, hey, son, put down that armadillo and get some pants on. Oh, my Lord, kids.
Music is my passion, my livelihood, and it's in my DNA. My pals at KICKER Marine Audio gave me a chance to take the music, what I love and listen to, at home, on stage, and in the car, onto the water. Hi, this is Jason Bonham, and I want to say a big thank you to my friends at KICKER Audio for inspiring the songs and the stories behind the music that inspires America. Go overboard!
The KICKER Quad Box is the most insane, ground-pounding, bass head-loving, preloaded subwoofer enclosure we have ever offered. It consists of 4 L7R 12-inch subwoofers. It has a total power handling of 2,400 watts RMS, and it's tuned at an amazing 31 hertz. Here to tell us more about it is KICKER's very own Jeremy Brown.
Hi, my name is Jeremy Brown. I've been with KICKER for 22 years. I work in the research and development department. In the early 2000s, I would run the Gates Bronco at shows like Daytona. We would do hair tricks, 48 10-inch subwoofers with 48 1,000 watt amplifiers. Really big build back in that day. We were able to develop some high output enclosures that were up above the 170 dB mark. We set a few world records with some of those enclosure designs and our woofers. We learned a lot about high output enclosure designs during that time, and we've been able to bring that to our product lines today. Within the last year, we introduced a new subwoofer enclosure with 4 L7R12s that we call the Quad Box. Our Quad Box is built out of 3/4 inch birch. It's got a 1.5 inch baffle and a 1.5 inch bottom. We also use window frame bracing along with corner bracing to make the enclosure more rigid. We use a flared port to reduce port noise and increase port surface area. This type of vent design helps maximize output. We use the L7R 12-inch subwoofers because this allows you to use one KXA 2400.1 amplifier, and you still get big bass with fewer upgrades to your charging system. The KICKER Quad Box is the bass head starter kit, and if you're worried, it plays way below 40 hertz.
Do not attempt to adjust this transmission. We have assumed control.
The year is 1980. Music fights for its very survival in an acoustically desolate wasteland man calls automobile. Enter Steve Irby, a man whose love of music helped end this scourge forever and forge a path for modern car audio to follow. A humble musician with a passion for quality sound, Mr. Irby is a man who feels it is his destiny to provide a sanctuary for mobile audio. Welcome. Join us this evening as we venture back to the very night a young Steve Irby gains his inspiration to create the legacy we know today as KICKER Performance Audio. Though he does not realize it now, by this time tomorrow, Mr. Irby will have completed blueprints for the original KICKER and champion the war against mobile audio inequality. Tonight, Mr. Irby's prayers will be answered as he begins his quest into the Q Zone. KICKER L7QB8. With roots dating back to KICKER's inception, Mr. Irby and his team of engineers have achieved an unrivaled level of design and functionality. With extraordinary bass and a minimal footprint, the L7QB8 utilizes a seamless 1/4 inch extruded aluminum housing, allowing optimal internal air volume for the subwoofer. This exclusive design provides exceptional strength and stability. Like the original KICKER, the L7QB8 incorporates a unique passive radiator to minimize required airspace while optimizing the efficiency and frequency response of the subwoofer. Opposite the passive radiator, the L7QB8 is equipped with the all-new 8-inch L7 square subwoofer. The 2016 L7 features an aluminum basket for exceptional strength and thinned aluminum heat sinks for efficient heat dissipation. KICKER's blue lace spider, solo cone 360-degree back bracing, and a laser-etched cone brace combine as a single ultra-rigid unit. The result is increased clarity, higher volume, and added reliability. The square cone features over 20% more surface area than round subwoofers. It's attached to a Santoprene surround, then stitched to the cone for long life and durability. This surround features KICKER's patented ribbed corners, which fully dictates cone motion and extends surround life.
At the base of the unit, a pair of custom formed flanges integrate seamlessly with an extremely low profile mounting system, consisting simply of a mounting plate and bar. Once installed, the overall height of the enclosure is only 9.5 inches. This profile is small enough to work perfectly in countless trucks, sedans, and SUVs. Once again, KICKER sets a new standard with the groundbreaking design and unparalleled performance of the all-new L7 QB8.
On Kip, mic check, mic check.
Check on Kip, 1, 2, 3.
Mic check, Peter.
Peter.
Mic check, Peter.
1, 2, 3.
Mic check, good.
This is where KICKER started, right here in this garage right back here. It was a great place, but just a little bit small. And after about 6 months, actually, we got kicked out of here. My wife said there's entirely too much sawdust seeping into the house from the garage. But this was the beginning right here in the garage on 1412 Eastern Street in this little house. Okay, here we are at KICKER location number 2 down on South Main Street in Stillwater, Oklahoma. And this is the little house that we moved into after we got kicked out of the garage. Here we are at KICKER location number 3. We spent about 7 or 8 years in this place. We moved from the little house right over here into the Quonset when we ran out of space. We had about 35 employees. Here we are, KICKER location number 4. This is up on top of the hill. It's a little bit windy here. But we spent the years from 1989 until about 2006 here, until we moved into our new facility.
everyone. It's 7:30 Tuesday night, Central Time, of course. How's everyone doing? Welcome to Kicker Unmasked Live Weekly. I'm your host, Kip Litzy. It's my pleasure to be trying to keep the train on the tracks for the next 90 minutes. We got a great show planned for you tonight. As always, we're going to go through some housekeeping here in the beginning. We got some special guests we're going to bring in from outside onto camera. We're not going to tell you who they are, and you don't even know. And of course, the drawing, the contest, the thing you already know about if you've been watching and tuning in for a long time. You know we do that every night. And then finally, we have our own special guest coming in from our own customer support and tech area, and that's going to be the topic there, probably for the meat of the show, and that is our own Peter. He's going to become joining us here in a little bit. We're going to talk everything on customer service, box design, tech support, kind of give you guys a behind-the-scenes look at what it's like if you call in and have questions before you purchase a Kicker product, or have questions technically after you purchase a Kicker product, or heaven forbid, and it does happen, if you have a problem or have a warranty issue, we're going to walk you through that process as well to give you an idea of how things kind of operate behind the scenes here at Kicker. Now, with that said, as you know, tonight, last week, people who are tuned into the show every week, you know this, July 5th was Ernie's birthday. July 9th was mine. So July 5th, Ernie said, what do I want for my birthday dinner last Tuesday? It was Texas Roadhouse. So this Tuesday was my birthday dinner. What do we have? Texas Roadhouse. So we all had Texas Roadhouse around the horn, and that's how we got Peter from up in customer service tech support to come down. He found out we eat pretty good down here, so he said, yeah, I'll come down and hang out with you guys for a little bit. But he found an extra special way. He actually said, I'm a little hesitant, scared to be on camera. So do you think we could have a meeting and discuss that before? So I kind of know what's going on. And he turned that into a lunch. So he not gotten just one meal on us today. Peter got two. So he knows how to work the system. He got 2 meals out of Mr. Irby today because we didn't pay for it. It's actually Mr. Steve Irby. So Steve, thanks. Had a great lunch today with Peter talking about the show tonight. And of course, we had a wonderful meal tonight. It was my celebratory birthday dinner. So thank you very much. If you're new to the show and it's your first time here, we run a contest. We start it right at 7:15. We roll the link right across the bottom of the screen, and we run it right up until 8:30 Central Time. Then we turn it off, and we announce the winners before we end the show at 9 o'clock. Tonight's link, it's always kicker.fun something, and tonight's link is KTech. So /KTECH. Go enter that contest. You have them until 8:30 to enter that. Second and third place, you're going to get a set of those EB300 earbuds. You're going to get a couple koozies, and you're going to get one of those awesome Kicker Unmasked gray shirts. Our first place winner tonight, you're going to get a Bullfrog 200. That's our portable Bluetooth wireless speaker product that's actually rated for outdoor rainwater use. You can't throw it in the pond or in the pool, but you can splash it all day long. If you spill something on it, just run under the faucet, rinse it off, and you're good to go again. That's going to come along with a couple of koozies and, of course, one of those Kicker Unmasked t-shirts. Everybody now is getting the gray t-shirt. We've ran out of the limited edition black that we had for the first Unmasked show, but stay tuned. You never know what cool special thing we're going to cook up and have it available for our first place winner. It's going to be a good time. Stay tuned in. Tim's back here doing something like this, and so I'm looking what he's doing. He's pointing. What are you doing? Want me to move cameras? Oh, Ernie wants me to move cameras. Okay, I'll move cameras. So that is what's going on tonight as far as contest. That is the prizes and everything. Be sure you check that out. Go into the contest. You have until 8:30 to hook that up. And remember, if you are from north of the border, i.e. Canada, besides having great beer and good weather most of the time, except in those extreme cases in the winter, but it is beautiful up there. You guys are now part of the family that can enter the contest. Originally, it was just domestic U.S. We've worked with our friends and distributor up in Canada, that'd be Gemsen, and they have worked with us and able to get all of you on board to participate with our contest. So if you're from Canada, you can enter the contest. We've actually had Canadian winners, so congratulations to you guys. And if you're from north of the border, enter the contest tonight. Moving on down the list of housekeeping things. Subscribe. I'm going to do like and subscribe first. You know, guys, if you like the content that we're producing here on Kicker Unmasked Live Weekly, if you can do us a favor, you don't have to do it right now, just on your way out the door tonight, smash that like button on your way out. It's just an indicator for us that the content we're doing, what we're doing on this show is something that's appealing to you, and we really like that feedback. It helps us make decisions on future shows and things we're going to do. And as always, social@kicker.com is how you reach out to Bill Frog. And as you know, if you're new to the show, Bill Frog is our social guy. If you're a hold hat to this, you already know who Bill is. And social@kicker.com will tap you right in. If you got an idea for a show, a topic you'd like to discuss, a guest you'd like to see us, maybe see if we can get them on the show, anything like that that's of interest to you, please reach out to social@kicker.com. Let us know what is of interest to you, and we are definitely going to work to get that on the show. It's important to us. This is a two-way street. It's Kicker presenting things to you, ideas, products, guests, fun stuff we hope you like, and contests, but we also want to hear from you. Young Shadow, Kicker is Life. Thanks for that shout out, man. Thank you very much, sir. We certainly try. You know, when it came to being the host for the show, I drew the short straw, so just be kind to me. That's all I can say. Like and subscribe. Ernie, let's go to my laptop. You know, we talk about all these events that we go to out in the field, and we've started doing updates out in the field. And these are events that are coming up in the near future, i.e. the next 30 to 60 days. These will be events that either has Kicker personnel attending. It could be the XRV. We encourage you to check the websites. Always reach out to social@kicker.com. You can ask any question you like about the events. But the next one that's coming up will be Dune Fest. And I actually have a cheat sheet here in front of me. That's actually going to be our own Lauren Morrell, Tracy Foch, and JW. JW from back. He's going to be out there at Dune Fest. That's July 27th through August 1st. In Winchester Bay, Oregon. That is the next event that you can attend or go, hang out with the Kicker guys, see what's going on. Following that one, our own Tim Smith, and he does have a beautiful slam to the ground Chevy. That's an S10, correct, Tim? C1500. C1500. And it's a gorgeous, gorgeous truck. Tim attends a lot of these car and lowrider shows, and we are a sponsor of Slamboree. Matter of fact, he told me if I would just click the link here and follow it, you can see right there, Kicker is a sponsor on that. Tim will be out at this event participating in this. He will be there as a Kicker representative and just enjoying it himself. This is going to be August 6th and 8th, and it is at the Grand Casino Hotel and Resort down in Shawnee, Oklahoma. So if you're in the area, want to come check that out, it's going to be a fantastic car show. It's actually to raise money for, Tim? Toys for Tots, and if you show up to the show with a toy for the Toys for Tots drive, they will take $10 off of your entry fee to get into the show. It's a great thing, great cause. If you're in the area, you enjoy things like that, this is certainly a way to go have a great time and show some support for Toys for Tots. So Tim, remind us of that one. Of course, this one everyone knows, this is Outlaw Armageddon, the World Series of No Prep. This will be down at Thunder Valley Raceway Park in Noble, Oklahoma. This is August 13th and 14th. And this one, if I remember correctly, it's going to be JW, Sandy, everyone who likes Sandy. Sandy will be there. Tracy Foch, Ernie Ficklin, and Bill Brown will be there. Yours truly will be on vacation. That's the only reason I'm not going to be down at Outlaw Armageddon, but I'm actually going to be over on the right coast, over on at the Outer Banks in Carolina, enjoying some sun and fun and surf with my family. And I'm sure some Twisted Teas will probably end up in that conversation. Next event we've got coming up is we actually have a little event going on with Audio Midwest. It's like a educational fun day, dealer day. It's going to be at their Audio Midwest location down in Oklahoma City, or actually Edmond. Here is the information, their address down in Edmond, Oklahoma. Of course, all these, you can see the website that I'm looking at here. This is audiomidwest.com. But that'll be an event down there. Our own John Myers will be there supporting this event. I'm sure he'll have some type of vehicle. JW, is he taking his Mustang? Yes. Awesome. If you are in the area, you need to go check it out. Have a good time with John. He is a tech that's been around here as long as I am. John is a very knowledgeable man, and he's taking his Mustang down there, so that will be a good time. He has a very high-end, great-looking install on that. That's Q-Class products. You need to check that out. That'll be happening at Audio Midwest, and that is going to be on August 15th. Then, if you are a dealer or a rep, you're going to be joining us down in Dallas, Texas. That's going to be August 27th, 29th. I will be there at this event myself. There's a long list of people will be there. Ernie, Sandy. We're actually going to be doing some Unmasked Live broadcast from the Mira, or the Knowledge Fest event. Pardon me, I always call it Mira because that's how I knew it back in the day. It's going to be a good time. The thing that's cool is this is a trade-only event, but because we're going to be doing Unmasked Live feeds from the show, we're going to find the cool things at the show to kind of show you guys, so you get a behind-the-scenes look, and we're going to do a normal Unmasked episode from right down there in the hall. So that ought to be a good time. That's August 27th and 29th down in Dallas, Texas. Again, hit knowledgefest.org for any information on that. If you're looking for hotel rooms or tickets, if you're in the trade, check it out. Next on the list is Ocean City Jeep Week. Our own Matt Matheson is going to be there. I think Tracy Foch, no, not Tracy, JW, you'll be there, right? Yep, you'll be at this event, and the XRV will be at Ocean City Jeep Week. This event actually goes on during the same time frame as the Knowledge Fest, so we're splitting the team up. JW and the regional rep for that area, Matt, they're going to be up there. That's going to be August 26th through the 29th up at, where's this located at? Ocean City, Maryland, correct? Correct. Thank you. Great event. I have not had the opportunity to go there, although I've been to a few other Jeep events that we've done in other parts of the country. If you're into this thing, check it out. This is OceanCityJeepWeek.com. This will be August 26th through 29th. Then this one. This is a wonderful show. This is the Geico Sand Sports Super Show. This is out in Orange County, California. It's at the fairgrounds out there. It's September 17th through the 19th. The XRV will be there. Lauren Morrell, UTVs, Bill Brown will probably be on site handling photos and video opportunities at this show. Fantastic show. If you're into ATV, UTVs, you need to check this out. This show is huge. It is all about that lifestyle. It's all about the products for that. Please go check it out. Again, any information you want to know about it, sandsportsupershow.com. And I think that just about wraps up events. So with that said, I'm going to go back to here, hit that, and Ernie will bring me back to the camera. So hopefully you guys enjoy that. It's kind of an update. We're going to try to do about a 60-day out window of any events we're doing, whether it's a trade-only show or a consumer-type event. We're going to let you guys know when those are coming, where they're going to be located, and hopefully get a chance to meet you face-to-face and in person at any one of these events. So check them out. Check the websites for information. And again, we'll keep doing this as an informational update in the housekeeping section of Unmasked Live going forward. We think it's a good idea. Wait a minute. Hold on a second. I'm going to bring this one up. Robert, really? Really? We'll get to that in a minute. Happy 32. Somebody may be having a birthday. Happy 32, 25 hertz to life. If you got any other comments there you want to bring up, JW, feel free to throw them at me now. I'm looking through the feed to see if there's anything there. Not really. What happens on Mondays? You blah, blah, blah. EDUD. We need something. Here, Scott from Scott. Hey, Scott, how you doing this evening, sir? Power Hog Audio. We need something middle U.S. or East Coast. You know, I'm going to bring this up. I haven't seen, of course, I can't see everything that happens in here on the feed. Thank you. Hey, Steve Barber, I see that down there. Happy birthday, Kip. Thank you, man. I certainly appreciate that. This is just, I want to throw this out there, and hopefully, I haven't seen him in here. Maybe I missed him. I saw Robert was in here, but I'm sure Derek Williston, Old School Stereo's in here, Big D. We've actually been approached and asked by Big D if Kicker would be interested in possibly either hosting on site or somewhere close the Old School Stereo Meet that happens in the fall. And this is an event that I got to participate in 2 years ago, if I've got my math right. And it was down it was south of Dallas somewhere. I forget the small town, and I apologize, but it was down south. And so we've kind of kicked the idea around here, and I'm not trying to put Derek on the hook here, but it sounds like a really good idea. And, Stillwater, Oklahoma is kind of the center of the United States. So if you guys don't mind, whether you throw it in the feed right here so we can go back and look at it, or if you want to reach out to us at social@kicker.com, let us know what you think about an OSS fall meet here in Stillwater, Oklahoma. We would actually try to make it happen right here at the facility if at all possible. We'd have to make sure we get all our ducks in a row because it's not as easy as just saying we're going to do it here. There's all the things about you got to deal with the local city, and you got to deal with police, you got to deal with road and traffic, and there's all those issues we'd have to talk about. But we'd really like to know if there's any interest in having an OSS meet here at the facility in Stillwater, Oklahoma. And if we did, I know it's fall. What is fall? Is fall September? Is fall October? We'd love to get some feedback from you guys on that. And of course, Derek, he's kind of a star to that show. A lot of people ask if he's going to be at the show or attend, and also High Five Vegas. So if you guys have input, please let us know what you think about this. It's an idea we brought up because it was introduced to us. We've kicked it around. We think it might be a pretty good idea. And we'd love to get feedback from you guys. Because if we do this, it would be opening up OSS to, I hope, a broader range of people. People who watch Unmasked Live would want to come and check the show out and hang out. And someone said, I remember there was someone that said something, I think it was in another feed somewhere I was following. Yeah, if you got Rockford in your car, you can bring it. It's not about the gear that's in your automobile. Because a lot of this stuff's just old school. I mean, there's Rockford and PPI and MB Court and us and you name it. There's all sorts of gear that people put in their cars. So yeah, it doesn't have to be kicker gear to participate in the OSS if we would hold it here at the facility. But if we did do it here, we'd try to have the museum open for that day. You could come in and walk around and check that out. So it's an idea we're throwing around. Love to have some feedback to see what your interest level is. So let us know. That's something we've thought about. Go up here, Kicker old school amps. Blah, blah, blah. Blah, 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 blah. Here. Scott Dilbeck, Kicker old school amps are so hard to come by. I think part of that is people have them, don't want to get rid of them. I know I suffer from that. It's not that I have a ton in my collection, but I have a lot of Kicker old school amps in my own personal collection. And I've got two, in particular ones, they're the SX, the original DSP amplifiers with the blue display and the keypad. Those have a soft spot in my heart, so I actually have two of those brand new in a box. They'll never get hooked up or used. I just have them. They'll be with me until I'm no longer here. I can't get rid of them. 1,000,000% it looks like Scott Dilbeck would attend OSS at Kicker HQ. Perfect, Scott. That's the kind of feedback we're looking for. We just want to gauge interest level and see what that would be. If it looks like there's enough interest level, then we will have the higher level meetings with the guys, with Derek, and find out what the dates could work for us and work for them, and see how we can make it happen. John Booth, that would be awesome. It would be easier for me. Give me a reason to visit Kicker finally. Well, John, we'll see if OSS is the reason to visit it. I thought there'd be no better place or time to talk about it than to bring it up here on the feed. I mean, this is kind of the Kicker family that tunes into this and watches, and we want to get your feedback. And so we'd love to give you a reason, besides just coming to see Kicker, to come to see Kicker. So that'd be great. Stormy Young, OSS at Kicker, yes, I would try to come. Perfect. That's the kind of feedback we're looking for. Good or bad, let us know. E-Dud, Rob, there will be a CCA checkpoint at the gate. If you got CCA in the car, you automatically lose 25 points. Just the way it works. Good call there, E-Dud. He is the champion of CCA. If you want to know, just ask him. He knows it all about CCA. Brad Manning, I have an IX 500.4. I just put in my mother-in-law's Jeep for her birthday last weekend. That's an old school amp hanging in there so making noise. That's awesome. Glad to hear that, Brad. Thanks for reaching out and telling us that. We appreciate it. I see the chat's alive. There's lots of people kicking back and forth. I'm trying to keep up here. Bradley, and I hope I get this right. Mabius or Mabus, OSS, I'm in. Okay, Bradley, we'll put you down the list. It looks like there's a lot of positive feedback to this. Keep the comments coming. If you've got some serious input, please throw it in the feed here. We can read that. Or if you got other great input, seriously, social@kicker.com is your direct pipeline to get that type of information to us. Bill will get it. He channels it, puts it together. We get to the right hands. It's important. Social@kicker.com. 25 hertz to life. Depends if Steve Irby wants it to happen. He the boss. That's true. Steve is the boss. And I think Steve would be on board for this. I really think maybe I already talked to him about it, or else I wouldn't have brought it up on the show. Just maybe. I hope. I don't want a pink slip. Living Loud with Andy. Need a judge for the OSSC meet at Stillwater? I got you, Kit. Andy, that'd be a perfect excuse to get you, and you'd have a little bit of a drive because you'd be coming in from Pennsylvania. So that's a little bit of a hike, but yeah, we want you here, brother. Absolutely. So if we can get this together and make it happen, it looks like this would be a good idea, is to have a meet here in Stillwater, Oklahoma. And we'll see what else we can do. Besides being an old school meet, we've got the facility here to use. We got the museum. Maybe we can shoot some stuff that actually goes on the Unmasked Live show. You never know what we can do. That'll be good time. I'll wait. Sharting on them at the meet would be awesome. Yeah, I think they need to be here too, Hi-Fi. Absolutely. 3 here for the show. El Fuego, blah, blah, blah. Maybe it's a good road trip. Hey, here we go. Thumper, maybe a good road trip for the 68 Camaro if new engine's done. Goals. It's all about goals. Make that happen. Here we go. Kip could cook some burgers on some amps. We could do some dyno tests and probably cook some hamburgers. That's a great, man, you got me thinking about that now. That might be an interesting idea. Lots of great feedback here, guys. Thank you very much for all this. So, I heard Kip is, I'm going to bring this up because we were talking about tonight around dinner. I mean, any guy, you get to that point where you feel good about what you can do on a grill. And I'll admit it took me a long time to get there. But I know I've achieved success when I finally get to the point where my wife will say, Paul will go, what do you want for dinner tonight? And I go, I don't know. Do you want to go out and get a steak? And her response is, why don't I go get a steak and you cook it at home? And my wife is very kind and generous, but says that I can cook a steak at home now that's as good or actually better than most restaurants. And, Tim's the same way. JW was doing some stuff on the smoker this past weekend. He actually cooked for about 400 people. JW loves, I think the whole half a town of Stillwater's there or something. But I am pretty good on the grill. There's a lot of guys here at Kicker who are pretty good on a grill. We like to cook us some meat out on the grill. So, yeah, we enjoy it. Scott Dilbeck, Kip, hold my beer, put Tampa on 30 stress test till you can pan sear. That's awesome. Thanks, Scott. I love those. Those are hilarious. So looks like there's good feedback on that. We'll keep that in check. Let me see if I got anything else here in housekeeping. Of course, tonight's guest, we already told you it's going to be Peter from Customer Service Warranty. We're going to get him here in a few minutes. Before we get to him, I want to give a shout out and a special thanks to two special people, and that would be Tara and Brian. And I have to apologize, I don't know their last names, but I'm sure he'll tell me here in just a moment so I can look like a fool and they can tell me. But these two people reached out, I want to say maybe 4 weeks ago, 6 weeks ago. It's been a little bit back. And they expressed, I should say she expressed, because she was doing this for her husband. And she's kind of she's very outgoing. She's got connections with people in the music industry and politically and across the board. I mean, I don't think she knows how to take no, and that's not a bad thing. But she reached out and was like, hey, my husband watches the show. We'd love to come up and visit the facility, blah, blah, blah. I've booked hotel rooms to come up. And by come up, they came up from Austin, Texas. So that's about an 8-hour drive if there's no traffic. And so Bill's like, oh, yeah, come on up, et cetera, et cetera. And I just happened to be chasing the feed that night, and I saw on Facebook, and I saw it, and I reached out, I said, Bill, you might want to let them know that's Stampede Week. We're not going to be here. And Bill's like, yeah, I know, that's going to be okay. I said, but Bill, I think they want to come see us. And I said, yeah, you're probably right. They do want to come see us. And so they canceled their thing. They actually came up for a visit. They were here last Friday. They were gracious enough to take me out for my birthday lunch, and I can't say thank you for that enough. We went and had some great Tex-Mex. So without further ado, Tim, we'll do that right after this. Thank you for holding that up there. I appreciate that. I didn't have my notes. Thank you for that. I would like to bring on Mr. Brian Park and Tara Park, and I'm cheating because I can read the last name on StreamYard. So, JW, bring him into the feed, if you will, sir. Hey, Brian, Tara, how are you this evening?
Great. How are you doing tonight?
So, Tara, in your own words, why did you want to reach out and try to arrange for some way? Because it was kind of funny when you guys got here. The way I heard about it is, quote unquote, there's someone at the front desk and they want to meet Kip and Dave. That's what I got in my phone when you got here. But what made you want to reach out and try to make this happen for your husband?
Well, Brian's a big fan of y'all's. He watches you every week faithfully, and he has so much car audio of Kicker, a lot of old school, and he just loves you guys. I knew it'd be a great surprise for him, so I just did it without asking, and then I let him know afterwards.
So when you were on the way, did he know you were coming here to come to Kicker when you were driving up here?
Yes, he knew before we even left, but I reached out to y'all before letting him know.
Yeah, she just told me we're going to go up there, we're going to check out the museum, and then we also like to go look for old school car audio, so we go to the pawn shops and other thrift outlets, wherever we can find stuff. So I didn't anticipate anything other than checking out the cool museum.
But we wanted to see you, and we wanted to see all y'all, and I was going to do it on the wrong weekend, but that's when you corrected me, so we wouldn't waste a trip up there.
Well, you could have came and you could have visited the facility, but all the people, and I think that was part of the thing, especially after meeting both of you, that you actually wanted to meet some people here. You'd had to come a little bit further north up to Topeka, Kansas, if you were coming that weekend, because we weren't going to be here.
Right.
Well, we wanted to come see you.
Yeah, we'd chase you down.
Well, you did chase me down. It was fantastic meeting you both in person. Of course, when you were here, you talked about it. Did you go visit any pawn shops while you were here?
Oh, yes. So what ended up happening is we found a couple old school amps, and then I was looking on Facebook, and I saw that there was going to be a USAC DB drag racing show that was going to be going on near Dallas. And I was like, you know what? We've got some amps. Let's go find some subs now. So that became our mission, to go find some gear so we could do a parking lot install and see if we can make a number in the lanes.
That is crazy. So you are definitely, I mean, you've shown me your collection. At least you showed me pictures of it when you were here. and I've got a kind of a preview of what's behind you.
Right.
You're definitely an old school car stereo guy, and you are definitely a collector. That's the right way to say it. You collect a lot of this stuff.
I collect too much, and she's supporting my hoard. So
well, she said
we need
that
a bigger
you guys
house.
Yeah, she said you're trying to move or going to move into a new house, but it's going to take you, she said, something like 3 months to pack up all your car audio gear to get it out of there.
I know it's bad. I've already moved a lot into a storage unit, and it's stacked all the way to the ceiling, about 12 feet high, and it's too much. It's too much fun, though.
So let me ask you, Brian, if you can think back, you know, not back before it was old school, what was your first Kicker car audio product that you ever had?
Well, it was probably like around 93 or so. I had some Kicker comps, and I actually had to purchase those through a wholesale distributor back in Florida. And so they were the old school Kicker comps, and I think I had some Pyramid Super Blue amplifiers to run them.
I remember those. I know those quite well, actually. Roger, hey, real quick, I don't want to interrupt you guys, but this name that I couldn't try to pronounce because I kept thinking the L was an I, so I kept trying to say Reoak Ridge or whatever on last week's show. Yeah, he reached out to me and let me know this is actually Roger Lockridge. So that L is an L after the R, not an I that I was trying to read. And Roger is from the Best Buy in Destin, Florida, and was on the show that we did on wire. That they showed that horrible install that came in that had the wire that was just butchered. So I had to throw this up. Roger, thanks for tuning in tonight. Good to see you, man. And now that I know your handle, I'll get it right. When is Kicker coming out with a grill? We make them and sell them every week. Apparently, it's probably our amplifiers. Wait, if you let me dyno test it.
The old school grill amps. They're awesome.
It is cool.
I ran for our old school stereo challenge. I ran a Kicker XS50 in her car, and we got 747 watts out of it at 1 ohm on a pair of bazooka tubes and Jail Audio 10W3s.
Yeah, that's what you told me. You threw some W3s into some bazooka tubes and used that on an XS50, which is really cool. I mean, that's kind of what it's about, is just old school gear.
Yeah.
So your day job, you don't have to say where you work, but I found it kind of interesting. It seems like a lot of guys who are into car audio, and if they become, very excited about it and want to collect it, they also seem to be techie/nerdy guys. And I wear that badge with honor. I am a techie, nerdy guy, so I mean that in the most loving way there can be. But I know you're in the IT field, so we're in the studio talking and we're going, and then I found out you work in IT, and it's like, it don't make sense. And I get it. all of us techie guys seem to gravitate to that. And so if you don't mind, kind of show us, what do you have? I mean, I know you pulled some of your collection together. Show us what you got.
Yeah, we've got in this one room, we've got a bunch of our old school subwoofers right now. And there's the Kickers are over there. But yeah, I've got just about everything. I don't discriminate. I like all the old school gear. And there's the
back there,
amp.
More inside storage.
Yeah, go in that back corner, Brian. Isn't that some Boston Acoustics, the ovals back there?
Yep, SPG 555s right there. And then we've got some Boston G5s right there. And then I got another G2 over there. And then I got a couple more that are in their storage unit. Some old Thump Pros down there. And they're the bazooka tubes that I was running.
Man, you've got a huge, and understand, folks, this is just part of his collection, because he showed me pictures of what's already in his storage unit, and you have a lot of stuff.
Yeah, and then in one of our other bedrooms, we've got about 150 amplifiers over there, and then we probably got about 50 or so head units that are just in different places, and I've got a couple old school Pyramid graphic equalizer ones. I have one of the Pyramid goosenecks as well.
That's awesome. Scott Dilbeck, he just up here. I bet a Kicker ZR amp will give some good grill marks. I agree with you on this, Scott. I bet we could get some fantastic grill marks out of one of those.
We've got a 300, a 240, 120. We've got a bunch of the old ones.
Hey, Tony says you got more subs than Quiznos.
We should open up our own business.
That's awesome. It's obvious you are definitely a car audio enthusiast and you like collecting the gear. For you, it's kind of that old Seinfeld joke. Anyone can just take a reservation, but it's the holding of the reservation that really means something. So you're collecting all this gear, and obviously you are holding on to it. So when you buy this gear, are you buying it strictly for your personal collection, or are you buying this as something you might keep on turn around to someone else?
I haven't gotten to that point where I want to sell it yet. And what I like to do is set it up, and I'll set up it here in the house or in the car, and I'll switch out the old school gear. And I'll set it up in the house, and I have a limitless lithium battery, and I'll run that in the house with different amps. And I also have like truck boxes, so I can have mids and highs. And she'll be in the kitchen cooking or cleaning, and I'm just jamming out, or just listening to the old school, jamming out.
You know, Tony, he says, I wonder what a compass does near their house, meaning your house. I bet it doesn't point true north anymore. It probably points true front of your house is what it does. But you know, it's kind of funny, Tony, just to add to that was real interesting. They were unboxing some of the L7X subwoofers today that were coming in from manufacturing for testing and things, because we're still, you know, really hip deep in that project. And what was cool is I heard this clinky sound, and I went back and looked, and there's all these thin sheets of like metal, some kind of tin or metal or whatever. And I said, so what is that?
Stuck to it.
Well, they said because these came on a plane, they have to put all this metal in the box to shield the magnetics from the motor so that it doesn't affect the plane's ability to use, you know, tracking or GPS or anything that might be affected by magnetics. They have to shield all those woofers in an airplane. So they do. They put these big sheets of metal and pack it all around there. Otherwise, you have to magnetize the woofer when it gets here. So it's kind of interesting that I bet a compass does go pretty crazy at your house.
It never stops spinning.
It probably does not. 25 hertz to life. He's a bigger cardio fan than both Big D and Hi-Fi. Ooh, I don't know if he's a bigger fan, but I think he's got a bigger collection. At least he shows a big collection.
Yeah, I love Big D's show, and then Hi-Fi Vega. Those guys together, 12-volt talk is awesome. I love watching those guys.
Shout out Kevin Hare. Hey, Kip, my brother from another mother. How you doing tonight, man? And then another comment I want to bring up here that I see, because let me get my facts straight here, Tara. Didn't you say that you had met Miami base? Is that correct?
No, we have met some people from Florida.
But was it Miami base or was it another one?
Was it?
Well, DJ Laz.
Oh,
yes,
DJ Laz. We met a couple of times.
Neil Case.
Neil Case.
For some reason, I was thinking
DJ
it was Miami
Magic
base,
Mike.
and that's there it is, DJ Magic Mike. That's
DJ
the one
Magic
I was thinking
Mike.
of.
Yeah, I didn't know Miami base. I don't, but DJ Magic Mike. We met all of them several times, by the way.
Yeah. They're all amazing. They're so friendly and appreciate their fans and spend time with their fans. They're very gracious and very nice individuals.
El Fuego, can't wait till you get your prize in your hand, man, and I hope you're doing better. And, of course, you're going to show this interview to your wife so she sees you're not the only one. No, El Fuego, you have lots of friends. You're fine. You're not bad at all. So I really just wanted to get you guys on the show, kind of talk about your visit here, let people know that you guys came. And since I knew you had such a good collection, it was really good that you could pull some of that together and actually show it to the other bass heads and audiophiles and guys that collect on here. It was really cool so you could show that to them. And again, I can testify because I've seen the pictures. That's just a very small portion of your collection.
You saw the rest that we have in storage.
This is some of the raw drivers. There's raw drivers in other rooms, but this is what's over here. And it's too much to try to get into one space.
Yeah, and that's right, Deviant, that is correct, because we talked about that. DJ Magic Mike does have a new album out right now, and I need to go pick it up on
Another
CD.
Dimension, double album, Another Dimension.
Yeah, and I'm one of those people that still buys compact discs, so I'm going to go pick it up on CD. I'll rip it
on
lossless and
CD,
put it on my iPod.
He has it on a flash drive, and then eventually he'll have it for stream only.
Kip, yes. By the way, we're going to come back up there and visit you.
Let me know when.
We sure will. I mean, it was fun. It's not a bad drive at all. I mean, made a couple of pit stops, and we were there.
Yep. The facility is amazing, and everybody there is super nice. It's very clean, very organized, and your museum is top-notch. It's just amazing. Everybody needs to get up there.
Well, thank you for those kind words. I mean, we didn't know you were coming, so we didn't get the brooms out and make the place look any tighter than it normally is. So it's nice to say those things.
Yeah, I mean,
thank you for that.
The warehouse, everything was perfect. You guys
perfect timing.
Take care of your facility.
Couldn't have been better.
Well, I thank you both for coming. Thanks for spending a little time with us on the show tonight. And Tara, you did great live.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it, Kip.
Look forward to seeing you both again, and thank you for joining us on the show tonight. And we will get you back on another episode in the future. So you've got my email, I've got yours. Let's stay in touch.
Sounds great.
Thank you. We sure will.
Thanks, Tara and Brian. Have a good night.
Bye, Kip. You too.
Bye-bye.
Thanks.
So I thought it was pretty cool that we could get Tara and Brian on the show tonight. They actually, like I said, she did this for her husband. He admitted he's been watching the Kicker Unmasked Live from the very first show. He catches every show. He is obviously a collector of old school stereo, any stereo, doesn't matter the brand. He's just an old school audiophile guy. He's a techie and nerdy guy just like us, and he enjoyed it. So I thought, what a better way to get them on the show and let them show you part of their collection, have some fun with it, because I know a lot of people in this feed, you're in that same boat. So thanks, Brian. Thanks, Tara. Thanks for coming in and joining us tonight. And so the next part of our show, before we get to the part that people are going to really enjoy, is at Kicker Country Stampede. We had an opportunity to actually get backstage, and we were actually doing interviews with artists backstage. And so there was a whole host of artists that were backstage that we were interviewing. And of course, we asked them to take a band pack. It was a giveaway pack we gave to them for them and their band members to thank them for participating and performing on the stage. A couple business cards inside, and we said, hey, if you want, I know, there's a lot of people here, you may not, whatever your security concerns are, but if you feel like it, come on back to the Kicker XRV, which is back in the bowl, and we'd love to have you come on back and check our things out and hang with us. And there were some people that took advantage of that. And one of those people that took full advantage of that was an artist by the name of Blanco Brown. And Blanco and his crew came back, I think it's his manager, Vince, came back with him, and we had a wonderful time talking around the XRV. They got to experience some of the things we had on display. They got to experience the boom room that we've got on there. And there's no better way for you guys to have some fun and see what we're talking about than to actually see a short video that we captured of Blanco visiting the XRV. So Ernie, when you get a chance, go ahead and roll that beautiful bean footage and let everyone experience what we had fun with in meeting and spending a little bit of evening. And when I say a little bit, he hung around for probably about an hour or so with Mr. Blanco Brown.
To get some things off your chest. I heard the voices in my head. I'm screaming from the blue and red. Gambling is starting to make sense. Some things are better left unsaid. Son of a gun, still another fun. In a bar, really gone with a stimmy turn. Limousine, but it's more with the windows down. Every day's on the day, get the roof right on. Yeah, but they got the rockin' and the rockin' to the devil and the bomb, for me, damn right, son of a gun, still another fun. In the bar, really gone with a stimmy turn. Limousine, full of smoke with the windows down. Every day's on the day, get the roof right on. Yeah, but they got the rockin' and the rockin' to the devil and the bomb, for me, damn right.
It's just a short video of the time that Blanco and his entire crew came back, his band, his manager spent at the XRV. They had a blast interfacing with all the different vehicles we had on display. They got to experience the boom room. We actually did a small interview with him. That was him and I there at the end. I'm sure there'll be another video of that coming out soon. And Blanco graciously gave us permission that we can use that with his music and him singing, and we can use that on our social media and here on Unmasked Live. So Vince or Blanco, if you're out there watching, man, you are too gracious and kind. Thank you for giving us permission to use your track, your personal track, and you singing to it here on Unmasked Live and future social media stuff. Great, great artist, fantastic human being. It was a pleasure to meet him, and I look forward to seeing him and his crew at other events in the future, and hopefully doing some other things Kicker related with Blanco through Vince. So thanks, guys. We certainly appreciate it. Hope you guys enjoyed that video. We will bring that video. Like I said, it'll be available. You can catch that in future pre-rolls here on the Kicker Unmasked Live show and on social media coming soon. So check it out. We thought it'd be great to launch it here on the show. And so with that said, our special guest tonight comes from our own in-house Kicker customer service / tech support team, and that would be Mr. Peter. Peter, come on board.
How's it going?
Give me a big one there. Say hello to everyone out there in TV land.
How's it going?
So this is, I have to ask you. I do have to ask you. And I'm only going to ask once. One time. One ping only. So what is your name?
It's Peter Johnson.
So your name is Peter Johnson?
That's correct, yeah.
Do you have a middle name?
Nathaniel.
Nathaniel?
Yeah, legally.
Legal. So your name is Peter Johnson.
Yep.
I think you're going to get a lot of Facebook friend requests tonight after the show.
Probably.
It's going to be a good time, Peter. Thank you for joining us here. So, with that said, what we really wanted to do on the show is, you know, when it comes to someone who is either looking at making a kicker purchase, they've already made a kicker purchase, or they're having problems with their kicker purchase, whether it could be an installation issue, it could be an actual product problem, whatever it is, everything starts up in our customer service / tech support department. And the way this all happened was, you can blame Keyshawn. He said, I want to be here, then he got sick. He got sick. So a guy, we'll get him on a future show. Trust me, we're going to get him back in the studio. But Keyshawn approached us and said, hey, you know, you're going to love this, guys. You know what you guys need on the show? Nah, Keyshawn, what do we need? This face. Keyshawn is all about the face. Keyshawn's a great guy, so we thought, yeah, great, we'll get Keyshawn on because he works on the customer support side, and then we would get you on to handle the tech support side. Keyshawn bailed on you.
Yeah.
Be sure you make him know that.
Oh, I will.
So let's kind of walk through. And before we get to that, folks, just want to give you a heads up. We got about 20 minutes till the contest for tonight wraps up. That's kicker.fun/KTech, if I wrote that down correctly, which I did. So go hit that link if you enter into the contest. You got 20 minutes. We'll draw the winners and announce before 9 o'clock, the end of the show. So just a heads up for that. So let's go. There's really 3 scenarios I want to ask you about. So first scenario is, I already own a Kicker subwoofer, but I want to make it fit into my vehicle. They call the phone, what happens? They dial 405-624-8510, that's the actual number, or 800-256-0808. They call, they're going to actually get a human being at the front desk. They're going to tell them what they need.
Yeah,
they're going to.
So they'll hit the receptionist and then ask for tech support and get to us. I'm one of 5, so you know, me, Anthony, Brett, Travis, or Jacob. And you know, it's, hey, this is what I want. This is, so you know, try to find out vehicle, find airspace available.
Sure.
You know, figure out what kind of music they listen to, you know, what they're looking for, what they expect out of the woofer that they just bought. And then we could go into box design.
You know, what's interesting about that, you're asking the right questions, because someone who listens to a different style of music, or they want a different intensity, it's going to totally change a box recommendation that you probably make.
Yep. Yeah, so typically for like classic rock and everything, we usually just recommend a sealed box.
Okay.
With your tight, punchy response, good response down into the low end. But typically for like rap and R&B and everything, we typically recommend a ported box because they want it to be loud. They want to be heard coming down the street.
Sure. So that's kind of your guidelines that you go through as far as on that. So if a customer calls in, you find out what kind of music they listen to, obviously what product they have, what kind of power they're going to run, and get an idea for where they're going. They can then, I'm assuming then the next step is you're going to ask them, well, do you have some kind of general guidelines as far as how big we can make this box in any dimensions? Because you have to have that information, I assume, to work with them.
Yeah, so knowing what kind of space we have available, you know, whether it's going in an SUV, a car, going in the trunk, or, you know, going under the back seat of a pickup truck, gives us an idea of the space we have available.
Sure.
You know, with high depth, the basics of box design.
Exactly. You got to make sure that the 3-inch deep woofer will fit into that 2-inch deep box.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because that won't work very well.
Oh yeah.
So I know you guys in the past, and I'm not trying to lead you, but I am.
You're fine.
In the past, you've used a box program called, I think it's FineBox?
Yeah,
Is that correct?
FineBox. Yeah, so comes from, I want to say Switzerland.
Okay.
Or Sweden, one of the two. And that one works really well. It's really good for projections, but it is a little bit more difficult to use because you have to convert everything into imperial measurements.
And we tend to deal in feet and inches. And
yeah, and everything's in metric.
Instead of millimeters and milliliters and...
Yeah.
You know,
liters. Yeah, liters to cubic feet.
What's that? A liter? It's a little more than a quart. That's all I know.
Yeah.
A liter is a little more than a quart. So FineBox, and then I know that we've actually reached out and worked with Wayne and Celise at Wayne Harris Enterprises, or Term Life. So we actually have in-house now, and you guys also use Term Pro, is that correct?
Yeah, Term Pro, yeah.
Easier?
Much easier to use.
Much easier to use?
Yeah, very user-friendly. You can get a box design done on the phone within 5 minutes.
Okay. I know we got Term Pro on this laptop, but I actually want you to run through a box design on that, but not yet. I want to go through 2 more other cases with you. So obviously, if you're a customer, you call into KICKER, you've already got a KICKER woofer, and you're trying to fit it into your vehicle however you need, and you're going to build your own box. Or if it's a dealer looking to build the box, these guys will ask the right questions, guide them, figure out what the airspace is, and try to get a box designed into that using either the FindBox or the Term Pro software.
Yeah.
Now, I'm a customer. I have nothing in my car currently. I'm shopping. I call the number. What's going to happen in that process? I'm just trying to figure out what to buy or what I want.
Yeah, well, it really just ask them what they're looking for. Trying to find out, what they expect from a subwoofer system or a full system, if that's what they're into, or if that's what they're looking for.
Sure.
So that comes down to, at that point we need to know the vehicle so we can figure out what speakers they need, and then amplifier, obviously wire, all the accessories they need for hooking that system up, or components. But yeah.
And you guys have access, if I'm not mistaken, to all data, so you can get a little bit deeper in the
all data
wiring.
helps a lot, so that gets us to able to identify, how many speakers are in a system, if it's premium audio, bass audio, or if it's a newer vehicle. And that helps us identify wire colors so that we can, get DR wires pointed in the right direction as far as identifying what they're going to tap into, what they're going to splice together.
And Ernie's got a couple screenshots up here, some photos we've taken, so you can see this. If you're looking at the all data, this is a database. It's really from an engineer's viewpoint as far as how the wiring in a car is laid out, whether it's just the radio to the speakers, the radio to an amplifier to the speakers, is there a subwoofer, is there a subwoofer amplifier? So you guys have access to a lot of pretty deep information here that you can help a customer troubleshoot and figure out how to get this into their car.
Exactly, yeah.
So that's a great thing I want to talk about there. So if you got pre-sales questions, these guys can help you out with that as well. And then last but not least, because it happens, built by man, broke by man. I bought my KICKER product, I put it in my car, my amp's turning off, my headlights are blinking, my speaker quit working, there's no bass. There's a whole host of things it could be. They're going to call in if they've got an issue what they think is a broken product. And there's basically 2 steps that happen upstairs, if I'm not mistaken. They actually start with customer service, correct?
Yeah, typically a call that comes in and they tell the receptionist that they have a broken amplifier. She'll ask if they want tech support first. But 9 times out of 10, they'll go to warranty because they just want it replaced. But if they're willing and able to, a lot of times they'll get them to tech support. So me or, like I said, the other guys, and we'll be able to diagnose and troubleshoot. And there's simple steps for troubleshooting, but and then it leads into more complicated ones as well. But if we do determine that the amplifier is defective, then it'll get over to customer service. Or if it's a woofer that's blown, we can at least try and figure out why it blew.
Right.
Whether it's settings on the amplifier or they just had it cranked to 11.
And that's something that I wanted to kind of point out is that, basically upstairs and what we call customer service, it's really, there's 2 there's the customer, like the customer service side, and then there is the tech support side. And if you call and you have a problem, you may start with customer service, and customer service will want to get tech support involved because you may have a product that you think is bad that has no problem at all. It could be installation issues. It could be undersized wire. It could be CCA wire, not true copper wire. I mean,
we see that.
I know you
with
guys
larger
do.
amplifiers.
Absolutely. So, customer service and tech support really work hand in hand, not just to send another box out the door, but find out, do you legitimately have a problem? And if you do have a problem, let's find out how or why it happened, and let's fix that, because if you got an incorrect setup, incorrect wiring, if there's other problems, just replacing a product that may or may not be bad doesn't fix the problem.
Exactly, and we run into those repeat problems and everything like that, especially with one we see all the time is blown subs, but we see locked up coils. And 9 times out of 10, it's the amplifier's been set up, or I tuned it by ear. And you cook coils all day, every day.
They're going full clip boogie.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Full clip. There's a new one. Add it to the Kipism list. Full tilt and full clip. I like them both. So, KICKER customer service, we are really centered around answering questions before the sale. What will fit my car? What do I need? Find out what the customer's realistic expectation levels are, because, customer, once you find out what they listen to and how they want to listen to it, that actually helps you decide, well, is this a 215s and 10,000 watts kind of guy? Or is this a single 8 and 300 watts or a 5-channel amp and he's perfectly happy? Because it's a very wide gamut of people out there. Not everyone wants to entertain the neighborhood. They just want great sound sounding audio in their car for them.
Exactly, yeah, and that's pretty much all of us, or but we can definitely determine, within that line of questioning, get through whether or not they're interested in a sound quality setup, or if they really just want to beat down the block.
Right, and answering those questions helps you guys steer them into the right product, the right amount of power, the right
gets them into the right system design.
Maybe you're a quad box customer.
I know I am for sure.
We
like
actually
15s,
we fired that one up earlier for you.
Oh yeah,
you were pretty happy.
Oh yeah, very loud.
It's pretty impressive what that quad box does in this room.
Oh yeah, for sure. It's great acoustics.
So obviously customer service and tech support, it's answering questions before the sale, it's answering questions after the sale or if there's issues or problems, and then box designing. And so what I wanted to do for box designing, dang Kip, there's a lot of comments there we can't even talk about. Quad box with Q class, yep. Williston Audio Labs, what happens when people call and ask, do it bump dough? If someone calls and asks me if it do it bump dough, I'm going to refer them to your Facebook page to watch lots of stuff that do it bump dough. Have you ever been asked, do it bump dough?
On occasion, yeah.
So
there's
you have
definitely
been
a
asked.
few people in the feed that have asked, but yeah. As long as everything lines up and the system's built correctly, 9 times out of 10 it's going to bump.
9 times out it's going to be fine. Yes, they lag. I'm just seeing a post there. Apparently we must be having some issues with lag out of here. If we're having internet issues, we certainly apologize, guys. Sorry about that if there is. So with that said, I've actually got the laptop set up here. So what I'm going to do, not that I'm trying to put you on the spot, but I'm going to put you on the spot for a second. So, Ernie, if you would, what I've now got up on the laptop, this is actually a legit copy of Term Pro loaded into this laptop. And so let's just create something make-believe here. I'm Joe, customer. I just called up and I've got a, what woofer do you want?
Really, I like L7s.
Oh, I got an L7. Okay, so let's go with an L7. So let's do an actual box design here on Term Pro so you can kind of get an idea. And you guys do this every day on the phone for customers.
Oh yeah, and we can get at least a rough idea of what we need.
Okay.
It knocked out fairly quickly, and we have a lot of people that want to call in for SPL and want to do bandpass. Or they want it for a side-by-side and they want bandpass enclosure, and because that works really well outdoors. So we'll just go ahead and do 2. And we can do just a simple 1-to-1. So 2.5. And
this looks pretty easy to use.
Yeah, it works pretty quick, and then we can, everything's adjustable on the fly.
So after you've gone ahead and you've set your outside chamber volume, so that's your sealed side in this.
And then common ported chamber.
Common ported chamber, so that's what you're dealing with here. And then this obviously is the response graph over here to the right-hand side.
Correct, yeah. And so it shows our, our 4th order band pass. We've got peaks on both sides. And then over here it shows our frequency response for full bandwidth. So 36, 38?
36 is the F3 on the high pass.
Yeah, up to 86, centered at 50.
So 36 to 86, centered at 50. And then you can manipulate this. So obviously with this kind of box volume, if this doesn't work for the customer at all, you could either try to make the same drivers work in that airspace, or you might end up actually saying we need to make different driver recommendations.
Yeah, we can always end up going with smaller woofers. One that we see a lot used a lot in outdoor or in just side-by-sides are shallow woofers, so the Comp RTs and the L7Ts.
Okay.
And we see those used, we actually do use those a lot. So we can do a Comp R10 or CWR10. Do seal box. We see these used a lot in side-by-sides. Obviously, this is way more airspace than we typically see, but
exactly,
it still, we see our response curve, give us an idea of what area it's going to take up, and how changing, box size changes tuning.
And obviously, as I'm looking at here, you had the ability to go change power. So I'm assuming that's just defaulting to the RMS power rating of the woofer.
Just defaults to the rated RMS of the woofer, or how much power we want to be applied. But you can always change that, and it'll typically change the response of the graph. It'll change what we see in SPL output.
Gotcha.
Which, right there.
Oh, there you go. Okay.
So this gives us a guess of what it's going to do as far as output goes.
Gotcha. So a relative response curve and then a relative idea as far as output based on that power level.
Exactly.
And then I saw you going over to wood design. So going over there, what does that do for us?
So that'll show us an idea of what the box should look like. It doesn't give us woofer, but it gives us an idea. That's a little bit off. But it gives us an idea of what our box is going to, how much room it's going to take up overall. So this is saying total volume is 1.9 after woofer displacement and what we set the internal airspace as.
So question on this, when you guys are designing this up for someone who does a call in, do you just give them this information over the phone or do you guys have the ability to email, fax, or do anything like that with it?
We can email it because it will give us a cut sheet.
Okay.
So we can, typically to open a TermPro file, you have to have TermPro. So typically we can just take screenshots.
Okay.
And that'll give us, our top and bottom panels, front and back, and our sides. And with a wood design, we can take away visibility so that we can still see, what the inside of the box is going to look like.
That is cool. So you've got the ability here to, on the fly with people on the phone, you can design up a box, you can change the volumes, you can play with the tuning, play with the power, and when you get something that looks realistic for their needs, you can, like you said, screenshot or however, you can get
screenshot,
them.
and we can, with give them what our external dimensions need to be, and then click over to fabrication and give them a few screenshots of what our cut sheet needs to be.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, makes things easier.
Obviously, we talked a little bit earlier today at lunch. You've used Findbox, you've used TermPro. As far as one that's easier to use on a daily basis, I think you said TermPro was definitely the way to go.
Yeah, typically with ported enclosures, so with Findbox, since it's all metric, as far as ported enclosures go, it gives us, it gives us it's forced to do a round port. Don't have a choice, and it does it in centimeters squared. So you have to convert from centimeters squared to square inches, and then just to get what our total value of opening needs to be, and then we can decide whether it needs to be a slot port or a round port.
So by the time you've done all the mouth calculations, the person who's calling, they've already had a second child and they don't even own the car anymore. It's already down the highway.
Definitely, for sure.
So that's pretty cool. So, I want to check the feed here. JW, have you been watching? Are there any, if you guys have got some good questions that you'd like to ask Peter about, whether it's box design or tech support or something that happens in customer service, we would love for you to throw those questions in the feed and throw them up there. Mothra B17, show how you can change the wood pattern. Do you know how you can change the wood pattern? Well, let's go back to the beautiful bean footage, Ernie. Hold on a second. Bring it up, Ernie.
So it's under, if I could click on it.
Oh, there you go.
So we can't change it. You can change your access points, bar graphs. You can change your plot colors under when you're looking at the response curves.
Okay.
But you can't change, the color of the wood and what material you want to use as well.
So you can, it's got a lot of preloaded dimensions there.
Yeah, so 1 inch, 3/8, we can change it to plywood, but you can change you can also change your coverings.
Oh, this ought to be good. Particle board with aluminum.
There we go.
Nice. So it's kind of looks like plywood, but it's got an aluminum sheen to it. Check it out. That's pretty cool. So after using both programs, obviously, if given the choice, you find that Turn Pro on a daily basis, as far as answering phone calls, dealing with people.
Yeah,
on a daily
it's much
basis,
quicker. It's much easier,
quicker.
more user friendly. It's just quicker to use.
I wonder. Keep going. What I'm wondering is.
And this one does give us a render, an idea of what the box should look like.
Okay.
Versus where FindBox does not.
So you do get an idea of that right there.
Yes.
So L7, I want to see, let's look at an L7 T104. Design that one up. Let's build a box for that.
Ported or sealed?
We need to get rid of, just do whatever you want. I don't care, vented, sealed. Yeah, it's your show, I'm just here for the ride.
We'll do a single reflex band pass.
Perfect.
We'll just do one woofer. So typically, even with the shallow mount subs, we usually still end up about the same size as a full-size box.
Okay.
Or same size we would with a full-size sub, just because try to make it smaller, we just lose so much output.
Got it.
But as far as ported boxes go, it'll also show us our power and our display woofer movement.
So what you're looking at here in the pink line, this is actually the woofer.
The excursion.
The excursion of the driver, frequency versus, obviously you get down to here and excursion goes way off the charts, you get below the tuning frequency.
Yeah, and it does always want to try to tune it super low, so we can't always bring that back up. And then as far as vent design, it does give you multiple options. We can do a flange like arrow port, a round port, or a rectangle slot port.
Well, this is an awesome tool that we have at our disposal, and we get to use this every day to help people design whatever to fit their vehicle, get their woofer to sound the best way it can in their car. This is really cool.
Yeah. And it does show us port velocity.
Now, port velocity, again, I'm leading the witness. Port velocity basically is how fast the air is moving in the port back and forth. It's its speed.
Yeah.
Is there a speed you want to avoid?
Anything over 15 meters a second.
And if you're faster than 15 meters per second,
you'll hear it.
Chuffing, huffing, port noise, everyone calls it. So
Chugga,
15
chugga.
meters per second. And you can actually, obviously you're looking at this here, and this is the speed.
And this is in Mach, but I'm not sure what the exact conversion is, but I've built a couple boxes out of this program, and with this staying in the green is good to go.
You're fine.
Absolutely.
But yeah, that's the kind of thing. 15 meters per second is kind of what I've always been shown as kind of like the industry standard. Try to stay that or less, and you won't have to worry about port noise or things like that in a box design.
Yeah, but even if we end up having to use, just because of how big our box is or anything like that, if we have to use small ports, like round ports, typically an arrow port's going to help resolve some of that.
Get rid of that. Okay, this is interesting. So I'm going to go back. Let's switch back to the feed here. JW, do we have any questions? I'm going to bring the screen back up so we can see it, and of course get that wonderful effect that I love, which is that it looks like you're looking in a mirror that's on a mirror, and it just keeps, I love that. DIY audio guy, so Turn Pro can't print to PDF. I don't know.
Not that I've tried.
I haven't used the program yet, so I can't say anything. You guys.
I don't think I haven't tried.
Let's look. Let's just see if it does. Let's see if there's an option to do that. So let's go to Wood Design. Go to File, Print. Select printer, Microsoft XPS document writer. Okay, so on this laptop, I do not have any printers loaded or any PDF on here, so it's probably just defaulting to whatever the standard, which is just that. But if it'll print to a Microsoft XPS document, I would be willing to bet this would print to a PDF because it would be the same type of capture, I would just about bet. So obviously I only just have the one option on this laptop, and that's the XPS printer, but I just have to believe that, yeah, I would bet it'd print to PDF. We need to find that out.
I'll try.
He'll try it on another computer, and we'll bring him back on a future show. We'll do that as an update. So good question, DIY audio guy. We'll find out and let you know. It obviously prints. I just don't have Adobe loaded on this laptop, so it can't show up as an option, but I'll bet it does. I'll bet you're right. I'll bet it'll print to that. Anything else there, Jeremy? Good, thank you. 25 hertz to life. Serious question. What is the smallest sealed box any sub can fit in without compromising bass? Ooh.
Any sub?
What's the smallest sealed box any sub can fit in without compromising bass? here's how I'm going to answer that question. Maybe you got something to add from your own experience on the phones. You can put a speaker in any size box you want to. What's going to happen is you're going to alter the frequency response. It's going to go from being fairly smooth and rolling off to maybe having a small hump and rolling off quicker, or having a very big spike and roll off. Depends if you're in a sealed box, portable. They all can do that. I guess the only way to answer your question is I'd have to answer the question back with, realistically, where do you want your F3 roll-off to be? How low are you wanting the driver to play out before it's 3 dB down below its average output or in there? Because there's really, man, that's a tough question to answer. Like, if you take our L7Ts or Comp RTs, you take the 10s, you can drop those in 0.6, 0.5.
Yeah. Depending on the size, yeah. For the 8s, I think we're looking at 0.3.
0.3 for an 8 and 0.3 on an 8. And understand, when we say that, we're talking about musical response of the driver, something that's going to play, definitely down into the mid 30 hertz range, because realistically with music doesn't have, real music that's done by an artist every day, there's not much below 40 hertz. It's 35, 36 hertz, you're dipping down to about the limit of what music is. So if we're looking at music output, as long as the box has an F3 point that's still down there in that 30 hertz range, even if it's high 30s, it's still going to sound musical and it's going to sound good.
Yeah.
But any woofer, as you start shrinking the box down, it's going to play less low bass, and it's going to start getting peakier.
Yep.
Any woofer.
It's going to start to eventually just reduce output.
Exactly. And then, like he says, eventually you'll get to the point where you've pulled the bottom up so far that it's no longer a subwoofer. It's just not playing any bass at all. And that's why us and other manufacturers we do make specific lines of drivers that are going to work in shallow mount installations. And of course, in those shallow mount installations, you're also typically dealing with, you don't have a lot of airspace. So a Comp RT, CVT, an L7T, those drivers are going to give you good bass response in smaller boxes that are just smaller because they have to be to fit in those unique thin type environments. But even those woofers, like you said, if you take the 8 at 0.3, if you start shrinking that box below 0.3, it's going to do the same thing. The bottom end's going to start pulling up, it's going to start getting humpy, and it's not going to play low bass at the same volume level that you want. It's not that the bass isn't there, it's just like taking the volume knob and you're just turning it down on that frequency as you keep shrinking that box down. Yep. So I don't know that there's an answer to your question that's a specific box size, because it's going to be woofer dependent. If we took let's say we take a Comp RT10 versus a Comp Q10, the minimum box size requirements for both those to get realistic bass for musical requirements are going to be vastly different. You're not
about a cube.
Yeah, it's not going to be the same. So it would be a different answer for a Comp Q10 versus an L7 or a Comp RT10. It would be two different answers for how small can I make that box. And the best answer to give you is, if you're working with a kicker driver, is call these guys up and say, hey, this is the driver I got, this is the range, I'd like to kind of see what it does in this size box versus this size box. And obviously these guys can do the response curves, they can do the plots. You can at least have factual information in front of you to make an educated decision and go, well, I don't know which one, but at least I know here I'm getting this and here I'm not getting that.
Exactly.
So 25 hertz, hopefully that helps answer your question. It's kind of a generalized question. Corey Britt, best ported box size for two 12-inch Kicker Comp Q subs for SPL with a 1500 watt amp. I have an SUV Honda Pilot and I don't mind using all the trunk space.
To stay musical, typically the biggest we'd recommend for 212s would be 7.2 cubic feet.
For the pair or each?
Each. Or sorry, for the pair.
For
total.
the pair.
Yeah, so 3.6 each. And that includes woofer and port displacement.
So Corey, there you go. They're saying, to maintain control and musicality, they're saying maximum would be about 7 cubic feet. Best answer for you, Corey, is if you want to get that exactly down on paper so you can look at it, call these guys Monday through Friday. They're here from 8 a.m. until 5 p.m. Central Time. Now, anytime I quote you is going to be Central Time here, obviously, because we're in Oklahoma. And you can also reach out to them if you want to do it by email. It's support@kicker.com. And the way the system here works is there's 5 of you up there.
Yes.
And if you call or email, it goes into a round-robin system. So basically, if they're all on the phone, you're just going to go into the queue, and the next available person will come on. He'll answer the phone, and he'll be there to help you. If you've been dealing with a particular person and you want to deal back with that particular person, can they ask for that?
Absolutely, yeah.
So there you go. So if you've been dealing with Peter and you want to deal with Peter again, or if you've been dealing with Travis and you want to deal with Travis again, you can specifically ask. So if someone answers the phone, you go, hey, I'd like to be put back on hold and wait for Travis, they can put you back in that queue system.
Yeah.
So hopefully that answers your question, Corey. Y'all, you're welcome, Corey. And please, we're sincere on that. If it's a Kicker product, reach out to our customer support, tech support guys. That's what they're here for day in and day out, is to answer these questions and use these tools to help you guys out. You don't need to own a copy of Term Pro to design your enclosure. Lean on these guys. That's what they're here for. Roger Demery. I really think that might not be Roger. It could be the infamous, the one and only, well, we won't go there. What's the laden weight of a European swallow? Well, what's it carrying, Roger? Is it carrying the instructions on how to get to Stillwater Designs for the old school stereo meet guys? And how far away are they going to be? That's something we'd have to think about. Chris Vieira. Think it would be good to mention, don't buy the biggest woofer size if you don't have the right airspace.
Absolutely. But still.
You have an experience on the phone that you dealt with that?
Yeah. Trying to shove 15s in too small of a box. Trying to shove, I had a customer probably 3 or 4 weeks ago that was trying to shove 2 L715s in about a cube and a half.
And it wasn't working?
No, it didn't have any output.
You know, Chris, it kind of goes back. I mean, I used to do retail. I mean, I started off as an installer in a shop and worked my way through the entire industry. And I can remember the day I had a guy come in and he just swore up and down he wanted a pair of 15s behind the very narrow spot in the back seat of his truck. And I kept insisting that a pair of 15s are not going to work there. They're not going to sound good. And he kept, no, you can make them fit. There's enough space. I moved the seat up. And I said, you don't understand. I can build the box and I can get the driver in there, but there's not going to be enough airspace for a pair of 15s to sound good. And he insisted and he insisted and he insisted. So finally, I told him, I said, okay, we're going to do it, but it is what it is. I'm just telling you up front, it's not going to sound good.
Yeah.
So we built the box, we put a pair of 15s in it behind the seat of this vehicle, and it sounded horrible. And of course, he came back just saying, oh, it just sounds horrible. It doesn't sound as good as my buddy who's got this or my buddy who's got that. And I finally said, listen, man, I said, I told you it wasn't going to work, but you had your heart set on owning a pair of 15-inch drivers, but you don't own the vehicle to put them in and do what you want to do behind the seat.
Exactly.
So I told him, I said, the box is yours. I said, you can use it for kindling wood. I'm not going to refund. But I said, here's what I will do for you. I said, I'll refund you the money on the woofers. I'll build you a new box, and we're going to put a pair of 10s in there. Well, a pair of 10s just aren't going to. I said, listen to me. You're going to love it. I said, a pair of 10s in the right size box behind the seat of that truck, it's going to sound good.
Absolutely.
And so he agreed to it. We did. So we took it all out. We built him another box, refunding the 15s, put that towards the new box and the new 10-inch woofers and put it in. And man, it just absolutely hammered and sounded great in there. And he's like, why? I just don't understand. He said, my buddy's got a pair of 15s and I said, well, what's your buddy got his 15s in? Well, Tahoe. There it is.
Absolutely.
There it is. So yeah, box size is a crucial factor. Don't let your desire to have a particular size of subwoofer determine what's going to go into your vehicle. Talking to guys like this who can actually model it up. And if you really want to do it, I mean, you say, okay, I got a cubic foot. What's a 15 and a 10 look like in a cubic foot? He can show you, and that kind of goes back to what 25 Hertz was asking. I can guarantee you there's more low bass coming out of that 10 in a cubic foot than that 15. Way more.
Absolutely.
way more. Another question, you got anything up there, JW, you want to post? Okay, I'm looking here in the feed too. DIY audio guy, it takes space to make bakes. Make the box bigger. And I got to give a shout out to Justin at DIY Audio Guy. Justin actually, on his own, had nothing to do with us. He got a Comp R woofer, and he actually did a couple videos on that and showed designing a box, building a box. And he's reached out to me to let me know that he absolutely loves the way that driver sounds in that ported box. I've watched several of his videos, not just those, but others he's done. DIY Audio Guy, Justin, you do a fantastic job. I'm sure the people in this feed are watching your content. Thank you for the shout out on that box. Maybe we need to get you on the show and do an interview with you on that. And I don't know how we'd listen to the box, but maybe we could listen to the box. I mean, it's tough to do on video. Everyone knows that. Scott Dilbeck, Justin's videos are great. Scott, I couldn't agree anymore. I go watch his stuff on a weekly basis. I'm subscribed to his channel. I got the notification bell on, so when I hear that stuff, you know, obviously we go and watch that. And speaking of that, hey, Ernie. let's do something crazy. So guys, we were, well, yours. I just, we're going to code half of this to Ernie. We're going to code half of it to Jeremy.
Yeah.
Whatever. Here's what we got, guys. You know, we are knocking on the door of having 20,000 subscribers to our Kicker YouTube channel. I think we're at 19.4, 19.5. It's somewhere. It's just shy of 20,000. So if you guys will like this video when you walk out the door, we'd certainly appreciate that. But more importantly, the sooner we get to 20,000 subscribers, so when that happens, when we hit the 20,000 mark, we're going to come up with some kind of a giveaway or prize to commemorate that. So the sooner we hit 20,000, the better off, or the sooner we're going to give away this package. Now, what we'd like for you to do is you can comment in the feed, you can reach out to social@kicker.com, you can give us ideas. We'd actually like to hear, what would you like to see us give away as a prize for hitting 20,000 subscribers? So if you've got friends who are into car audio and they haven't checked into UnMASKed yet, or they haven't subscribed to the channel, man, go hit them up and say, man, you need to go check this out and subscribe to the Kicker Unmasked Live Weekly channel. And when we hit that 20,000 mark, we're going to do some kind of a magicalicious prize giveaway of something we don't know yet, but we'll figure that out. So give us input and feedback. We'd like to know what you want to see. You want something signed by Steve Irby? Do you want a system? Do you want a quad box? I don't know. Tell us what you'd like to see. But we're really close to 20,000. We'd like to hit that. So when we get there, give us your suggestions, and we're going to do a giveaway when we hit the 20,000 subscriber mark on our channel. So help us out there. We'd love to have a little help in hitting that 20K mark. Dragon 51. So yes. Are these free box designs for Kicker subs? Yes.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. You call up, you got a Kicker subwoofer and you need a box design, you want 2 box designs, you want 20 box designs. These are designs that we do for anyone who has a Kicker subwoofer. So you can call up these guys. They have the full database of Kicker products there at their fingertips, and they can work with you. You'll have to help them do some legwork because they're going to need to know, well, how much space do you have? So they may need to have you tell them what's the maximum width, what's the maximum height, and what's the maximum depth that I can work with to build you a box. And once you give them the maximums, then you can have that conversation with them, and they can go, okay, here's the woofer you're wanting to use. This is what it does. And I'm sure you do. I mean, if you design something up for someone, do you make recommendations if you see it's not really something that's going to work well?
Yeah, absolutely. If we, see if we can get at least a little bit more airspace, or see if we can use a different woofer that would work better in the airspace that we have.
Which goes down the path is if you don't already have a Kicker speaker, but you're looking to buy a Kicker subwoofer, this conversation is something that's great to have before you pull the trigger and buy your speaker, because they'll help figure out which subwoofer out of the because we make 9 different lines of subwoofers at this point, maybe 10.
9 different comps, yeah, for sure.
There's a bunch of them in there.
There's at least 4 L7s.
Yeah. So they can have that conversation and figure out, how much power are you realistically wanting to run, what's your output expectations, how much, what type of music you listen to, and they can help guide you even on the front side so that you're purchasing the right woofer to begin with. So it's a great tool to use before you make your purchase, and it's obviously a fantastic tool if you already have a Kicker subwoofer. Help me fit this and get the best performance out of it that I can. What's the difference between sealed and ported? It's not our opinion. Here, take a look. Here's the difference between sealed and ported. What kind of music do you listen to? Well, let's steer you towards the sealed. What kind of steer you towards the ported? Yeah. They're going to be able to help you do that.
Or, if we have this tiny little bitty amount of airspace, we can talk about working with passives.
Absolutely. So Ashton Snipes, can you build a shallow box for 2 10-inch L7Ts similar to the Comp R Dual 10 box? Thoughts on the shallows in an Accord? You can absolutely build a shallow mount box for 2 10-inch, oh, pardon me, I kicked a cable there, for 2 10-inch L7Ts. When you say Comp R, so when you say Comp R Dual box, you must be talking about the front firing.
The 43 DCWR10.
See, this guy knows his numbers right there. Yeah, absolutely. And again, my answer to you is going to be, we wanted to show you Turn Pro tonight so you can see kind of the tools these guys have at their disposal. Either call Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. That's Central Standard Time. These guys are on the phone. Or again, if you prefer email, you can. It's support@kicker.com. I will say on the email, you guys, it's 24 hours. So 24 hours from the time you get an email, you try to respond?
Yeah, within 24 hours.
Within 24 hours.
Typically same day.
So try to be same day. We call it 24 hours. go with that. Scott Dilbeck, I will hit up these guys for sure for help doing my old school kicker walled setup in my 79 Civic for sure. Thanks, Scott. That's what they're here for. That's why we thought it'd be kind of interesting to let you guys actually meet a face of one of the 5 guys that's actually upstairs. And most of the time, they're either on a phone or they're in a computer. These guys are busy all the time answering questions for dealers, for reps, for consumers.
Exactly. Dealers, reps, consumers, everyone, internationally too. Definitely everything's been kicking off lately, for sure.
Man.
Get your Rona checks.
Jeremy's reading my mind. I was going to click that comment and he put it up there. HT Fan, can you split a high-level signal from a pair of front speakers and input into 2 different amps, Kicker Key 200.4 and 500.1? And the answer is absolutely.
Yes.
You sure can. You can take both of those inputs, those high-level inputs from a Kicker Key product, those 2, just take your left positives together, take your left negatives together, go into your left speaker setup, do the same thing with your right, and you're good to go. Yep. That high-level signal will have absolutely no problem driving 2, 3, 4, 5, 10. You're not going to have an issue.
However many amplifiers you want to throw behind.
Yeah. How many do you want to run with a high-level input? You're not going to have a problem. And the cool part about it is if you're using anything today in a modern stereo, the RCA outputs versus the speaker leads, I'm here to tell you, an old school guy like me, it took a while for me to believe it, trust me, and I had to actually sit down with an O-scope and see the science behind it, but I'm telling you guys, time and time again, all of our amplifiers use what we call fit inputs, and there's different versions. We're up to fit 2 and fit plus. They have different models of it.
Yeah.
But they're all designed to take up to, depending on the version, up to 40 volts of input direct into them.
Yeah.
And the thing is, it's not a knockdown or a built-in A-lock converter or anything like that. It's a true preamp that runs on differential, which is like balanced, which means you can take speaker leads directly into that amplifier, and it takes that signal in, you turn your gain to the appropriate level, and it amplifies it right back up. I remember the days when I used to sell customers 8, 9, 10 volt line drivers so that they could take that anemic half a volt that's coming out of their RCA and try to get some signal to drive to the back to overcome all the noise that's getting induced in the cable and all that stuff. I'm telling you guys, there are many cases where guys have put systems up and I go, well, how'd you hook that up? It's Kicker amp. I used an A-lock, and then I said, what kind of A-lock did you use? Well, it's brand X, whatever it is. And I go, you'd be better off just take a Kissel, take the speaker leads directly in the amplifier. I mean, I don't need an A-lock? I go, no, as a matter of fact, you're hurting yourself with an inferior A-lock. You're actually rolling off the bass response. You're not getting everything you paid for.
Yeah.
Our amps will take that input directly in there, and in a lot of cases in modern head units today, the RCA outputs, they're just resistor padded outputs that come right off the speaker leads. They don't even have a true preamp in them anymore.
Yeah.
So do yourself a favor.
Better speaker level.
Yeah, run speaker level. Run it all day long. Run it all day long. You'll feel better for it. I'm going to pop this one up, JW. If you got another one after this, let's get it. Brad Manning, I've got 2 10s in my Explorer on 1200 watts, and when I demo it for a customer, nobody believes me. It's just a pair of 10s until I show them. The box makes or breaks the entire setup.
Absolutely.
Brad, you're correct on that. An analogy that I was taught to me when I was, all of us started knowing nothing about car audio or anything of this, and we've all learned from others who have taught us. Yeah. And, a great analogy is, a speaker and a box, if you look at those two, it's like in a car, it's like your motor and your transmission. I mean, your motor can't do really real work until it's got a transmission to couple that power and have it do something. Well, a speaker's the same way. I mean, if I take any speaker and just set it on the table and hook power up to it and just play it, it doesn't do anything.
It's not going to sound that great.
The box is the transmission of that design. It's what takes that speaker, that motor, and lets it do something with it. So box design is very, very crucial. And you have to make sure that you're using the right box with the right woofers to get the right sound in your application. And again, don't let your eyes dictate what size woofer you need. The story he has, and I've lived it myself, I want 15s, but you don't have enough space for them. They're not going to sound good.
Absolutely.
Just don't do that. JW, thank you, JW. Tony, question for Peter. What info do you gather from the customer before designing? Cabin, size, sound deadening, desired range, etc.?
Mix of both, yeah. Available space for sure. What kind of vehicle it's going in, that'll help us decide if we really want to go with a ported box or a sealed box, or even bandpass. We see that a lot more lately. But sound deadening, yes, always, every time. If you can, always do it.
So you ask if they have sound deadening, or even recommend that they do.
Yeah, if we can recommend that they do. It'll improve the performance of everything. It's going to sound a lot better in the car. Break down some of the rattles. some of the resonance from the vehicle itself.
If you can kill the rattles and the resonance of the vehicle, it's always going to sound better.
Oh, absolutely. If you can just sound deaden the entire floor of the vehicle, that's going to help immensely.
Unless you're floating babies, then that might be
yeah, unless you're floating babies.
If you're floating babies, that might be something.
Sound deadening might not do much for you then.
High five Vega. Peter, blink 5 times if Kip is holding you hostage right now.
I don't know, did you catch that?
You know, high five, the truth of the matter is, there are a lot of people in departments here at Kicker that we would love to get on the show, and some of them are just not that excited about being in front of a camera. Fortunately, this guy was brave and said yes.
I'm warmed up to it now.
He's getting better. You think he likes it now? Wait till his 3rd or 4th time on the show. He's going to be a wizard at it. I'm going to sit in the back and run the switcher, and he's going to do the show. So it'll be fun.
I don't know that I'll have the enthusiasm you have.
Oh, come on. I've seen you guys upstairs. You guys do a great job. A great, great job. Comments? Jeremy, anything else? Oh, here, I'm going to bring this. Okay. High five Vega. I was nervous myself last week. Peter is the man. You know, I can't believe, Robert, were you really nervous? If you were, you hit it really well. Last week's show was a blast. I can't thank you enough for coming on and joining us. That was a hoot. We had a great time on that one. So what we're going to do here real quick, looking at the clock, we're up at 8:54, so we're going to go ahead and get the winners of tonight's contest out of the way, and then if we come up with another question or two that works, we'll get those up here. We'll let JW see if there's anything for that. So with that said, my special co-host tonight, Peter, I'm going to give you the honors, the ups.
Alrighty.
We have got our 3 winners. Bill, we got winners? God, I love when he says that. So we got our winners. 3rd place, 2nd place tonight. You folks are going to get a pair of koozies. Keep your favorite beverage nice and cold while you're watching the show or any other activity you're involved in. You're going to get a set of EB300 wireless Bluetooth earbuds, and you're going to get a Kicker Gray Unmasked t-shirt. 1st place grand prize tonight, you're going to get the koozies and the t-shirt, but you're going to get, instead of the earbuds, we're going to hook you up with a Bullfrog BF200 portable weatherproof speaker system. Those are fantastic, and you're going to enjoy that. The BF200 is designed to take splashes from a pool. You can set it in water. You just can't dunk it in water. So don't throw it in the pool or throw it in the pond, but you can set it in water. It can be rained on, sprayed on. You can hit it with the garden hose. If you spill a pop or anything over it, you can take it in the sink, rinse it off. It's that type of product. Cool product. People who get a Bullfrog absolutely love it. So the winner tonight, BF200. Some things for our winners. If you're a winner tonight, first thing is we need you to reach out to social@kicker.com. If you're watching the show tonight, Bill will reach out to you tomorrow. 7 days to claim your prize. We always want to remind you that. It's not that it's been a huge issue, but we have a couple of people that never reach back out. So we just want you to know we need 7 days to claim that prize. If you're the winner, a couple things we need from you. Actual shipping address, no P.O. box, please. We cannot ship to a P.O. box. We also need a phone number. It can be your cell phone number, it can be your home phone number, it can be a work number, whatever you're comfortable with. We promise we will not use this number for any marketing purposes. It's just no matter how we ship you your prize, whether it's UPS, USPS, FedEx, DHL, Carrier Pigeon, or Leighton Swallows, courtesy of Roger Demery. However we do it, they need a phone number so they can reach out to you if they need to find you or have you come pick it up at the office. So we do need your phone number. And then last but certainly not least, confirm your shirt size. I know it's a drop-down box when you're in the contest. If you accidentally slipped in a hurry real quick and you hit medium and you really needed 2X, we want to make sure you get the right shirt to you because I look really bad in a medium, and we want to make sure you get the right size as well. So with that said, Bill, who's winner number 3 tonight on Lucky Unmasked Live Night Weekly on Tuesday?
Winner number 3 is Kyle M. from Arlington, Texas.
Kyle M., Arlington, Texas. You are our 3rd place winner tonight. Congratulations, sir. You're getting the koozies, the shirt, and the earbuds. Please reach out to social@kicker.com with the information we asked for. And, of course, Bill will be reaching out to you first thing in the morning as well. It's a two-way street. You can reach out if you like. Bill will contact you in the morning. So that's winner number 3. Who is winner number 2 tonight, Bill?
Winner number 2 is Rob L. from Detroit.
Rob L. from Detroit, Michigan. You are winner number 2 this evening. Again, t-shirt, koozies, instead of those wonderful EB300 earbuds. Thank you for watching tonight. Rob, thank you for being winner number 2 and entering the contest. Hope you got some great information out of the show, and we look forward to seeing you back on a future episode. And our grand prize winner who's getting the Bullfrog 200, the koozies, and the shirt is
Lance D. from Plattsboro,
Looks like Plattsburgh to me.
Plattsburgh, New York.
I'm going to call it Plattsburgh, New York. So, hey, congratulations. Let's give a round of applause for Lance D. Lance, you are our winner tonight, Plattsburgh, New York. You got the bullfrog, the koozies, and the T-shirt headed your way. All our winners, please, shipping address, no P.O. box, phone number so we can put that on the shipping information and confirm your shirt size. Again, Bill will reach out to you tomorrow with an email, or you can reach out to him tonight, social@kicker.com. So with that said, JW, do we have any other, we got a couple minutes here. What do we got? Hey, Mothra, B17, congrats winners. Thank you, guys. You know, this little thing that we do every night, or on Tuesday night, we don't do it every night. Boy, I don't want to put that workload on us. Every Tuesday night, you know, doing these contests and giving stuff away, it's just a really small way that we can say thank you for tuning into the show. Thanks for having a good time with us. Thanks for hanging out in the chat, enjoying everything. And it's just a small way that we can give back to the community. We certainly hope you appreciate it. Of course, we do the bigger prizes. You know, people have been here, have seen, we've done a quad box giveaway. We just recently gave away a training seat to Mark Eldridge's MSE, Mobile Soundstage Engineering. I mean, that's a $1,500 prize package.
Yeah.
We've given away pizza before.
Yeah.
You know, maybe we need to get with you and do a pizza thing.
Pizza sounds good.
Pizza sounds good. We're going to do something. But we're always doing something crazy, so you got to stay tuned. You want to hit that thumbs up. You want to hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell. And again, the sooner we get to 20,000 subscribers on our YouTube page, the sooner we are going to do some kind of cool giveaway. And if you have ideas of what you'd like it to be, throw it in the feed or reach out to social@kicker.com. Cy Talon, how do you know someone is watching live, or is this live on YouTube? Well, right now, we're live on YouTube. The time is 8:59:50 according to my clock, and we're live right now. So if you're watching this right now, Tuesday night at 8:59 Central Time, you're watching this live. This does stay up on YouTube and Facebook after it's fed, so you might see this on Wednesday or Thursday or whenever you might, but on Tuesday night, we go live at 7:15 with our pre-roll. We kick off the show every Tuesday night at 7:30 Central Time, and we try to wrap it up right about 9 o'clock. Sometimes we end a little bit earlier, but with me, it usually ends a little bit later, so that's just bad for me. Brad Manning, I wish they would come back out with the BF400. You know, Brad, that's good information. Keep that in the feed. There's a lot of reasons that the BF400 is not available right now. You never know if we maybe come out with a refreshed BF400 or something different. Right now, releasing new product is a little difficult because of the whole global logistics production. If you've tuned into an Unmasked show, we've talked about this a lot. It's a nightmare out there right now. And that has somewhat to do with why there's no BF400s right now. Sometimes chipsets go out of date, and then to continue making a product, you actually have to redesign the entire product, new circuit boards, new layout, and things like that. So BF400 is a victim of that. We'll see what happens. I'd love to know that you have interest in that. I know a lot of people like the Bullfrog 400, so thank you for that. Ellie Thompson at Kicker, thank you. Ellie, thank you. This show is nothing without everyone tuning in and having a good time, so we certainly appreciate it. Thank you as well. Anything else, JW?
I think there was one if you scroll up.
Hi-Fi Vega Beta. Hi-Fi Vega, you know how we roll. You know what's coming up next. You do know. That is true. B-dubs. For those in the know, they know. What we got here? I'm going to bring this up real quick. B-dubs. Chris, and I'm going to, man, Sadrowski, man, again, on last names, I apologize if I get them bad there. But hey, Chris, I need a whole setup. ASAP, amp subs box, hook up to the factory tires.
Tires. It says tires.
Did that say tires?
Yeah.
Of piecing
Wires.
Together? Let me know what's available, thanks. Well, Chris, seriously, if you're looking at Kicker product, my best advice to you is, man, seriously, hit the website, kicker.com, see everything we got to offer, and then get a whole bunch of questions. What do you think about amps? What do you think about subs? What do you think about speakers? Mm-hmm. And then I can't say enough is reach out and talk to these guys on the phone. Again, they're here Monday through Friday, 8 to 5. If you're email kind of guy instead of a live phone, we actually, I mean, crazy. If you call Kicker an actual human being answers the phone. It's not a computerized system. She'll ask you, what do you need? Who would you like to speak to? And she'll direct you to the right department. We really believe in still talking to people in that communication, because sometimes it's just a whole lot easier to get to the answer if you can just have a conversation versus an email. And, well, what did he say, or how did he say it? Well, I didn't misinterpret that. Well, what do you really mean? It's just quicker if you can. So give us a call. We'd love to answer your questions. And Peter and all the guys up there, they are here to help you figure those things out. What'd you throw up there, JW? I missed it on the screen.
I think he said tired of PC.
Justice Perry, I think he meant tired of Oh, there you go. Thank you. He's a victim of the cell phone autocorrect. I am a victim of that as well. Yeah,
me too.
If you're looking to do a whole system, that's not below what you guys do. You do it every day.
Every day, absolutely.
So yes, if you're looking to put together a system, Tim McClure, Warhorse. Let me come back to that one, Tim. Stay right there. Leave him on the screen. We're going to come back to that. Have an idea realistically. I mean, only you know what you listen to. You know how loud you want to listen to it. You know if you're looking to have just, if you're looking for concert level output and bass, or if you're just looking for good sound in the car, you know what you're looking for. If you're at least realistic with those ideas or expectations, let these guys know, and then they'll say, okay, here's the car I drive. They'll be honest with you. It may be, if you're driving a Yugo, you may not be able to get what you want in a Yugo, or maybe you can.
Or a Mini Cooper.
We don't know. Or Mini Cooper. You know, the quad box fits in the Mini Cooper just fine. Just fine. Tim and the guys got it in there, and it's perfect. But really, give these guys a call. Let them know what you like to listen to, your expectations, the type of vehicle you have, and they will help guide you through what can make sense. That's what they're here for. Again, that's why I said in the beginning of the show that it's really 3 key areas that these guys deal with on a daily basis. I don't have anything. What do I need to get? Mm-hmm. I've got something and I'm having problems. Help me figure out what's wrong with it, or how do I get this woofer to fit in my car? Or how do I fix this? Or I think I broke something, or there's something broke. So now let's get it taken care of. But more importantly for us, it's not just taking care of the issue under warranty. It's figuring out why did it happen to begin with.
Exactly, whether it's improper application or just bad luck.
It's all about the experience, and we want to make sure you have a great experience, and that's what these guys make sure of every day. So
Absolutely.
Reach out to them. Tim McClure, Warhorse ever going to come back? Well, Tim, here's what I got to say to that. You know, we're making big subwoofers, right? Well, it probably makes sense to maybe look at big amps. I don't know. Will Warhorse ever come back? Don't know that either. But we probably need to look at making some bigger power amps to go with this really big subwoofer that's sitting over here on the table. So never know what's coming. We got to leave something in the bag for you. But like we've said in the beginning, those who watch the show know, Solo X is the family of products. L7X is the first one coming out of the gate. So stay tuned to Unmasked. The information will always be available here first. Living Loud with Andy.
Thanks, Andy.
Pete has helped me a number of times. He's an awesome person. Oh, Andy, that's awesome. Thank you. Yeah, Andy, Pete is a good guy. We had lunch with him, and he's got a great sense of humor. So before we go, what I want to ask him.
Can't be named like this and not have a good sense of humor.
No, you can't. No, there's no. What's this one here?
Trust me, I've heard every single joke.
Oh, 25 hertz. You have no idea. Greeks worship my hairy back. That's how hairy my back is. The Greeks have an idol. They have a statue of me that they come and they worship the kip back. That's how much hair. If I could put the hair on my back, on my head, I would be an entire rock band. I would have hair that flows from the tip of my head to the door that goes out of the studio. Yeah, I got back hair, and it's big, and it's there. I wear my fur coat all year long, and it keeps me nice and toasty. Thanks for recognizing. So with that said, when is the new L7 coming out? Jason Graham.
January.
L7, L7X. What we're saying right now on that, and we said it on last week's show, is we are doing our best to get the L7X out as fast as we can, and that's going to be the L7X 10, 12, and 15. We were targeting this year. Things got pushed. Everything has got pushed. Not that I'm making excuses, but I'll just put it on. I like to refer to 2020 now. Someone put it in perspective for me. Thank you, Brian and Tara. I'm going to forever refer to it as the blip, just like Spider-Man refers to that in the Avengers. So 2020 was the blip, and due to the blip, things have slowed down. So as it looks right now, we're talking probably first quarter of 2022. is when that product's actually going to be on the street. But understand, we are pushing as fast as we can on a daily basis. I mean, I'm not exaggerating. They just unboxed a new L7X in the back that had changes and stuff on it that we're looking at. They came off of new tools. And so we're plowing forward. As soon as we've got that product available, we're going to bring it to market. But right now we're saying first quarter of 2022. But we're going to go sooner if we can. It just depends on how quickly this whole global thing cleans up, gets better, things start getting a little bit speedier, because it's slowed down everything, not just current product that you manufacture as a brand, but making new products. So trust me, we want it out as soon as possible as well. So I'm looking through the feed here real quick. I want to know from you, what's your most interesting story to date that you had on a tech support call?
See, you asked me at lunch and I couldn't think
I
of
did
anything,
ask you at lunch. And
I think the most interesting one I've had has been either bar carts or subwoofers underground.
Bar carts?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, like mobile bars.
Mobile bars.
Yeah. Which I've seen. We see them around Tulsa every now and again, and I know that's a big thing in like Nashville right now.
So
it's a pedal powered, bicycle powered, big cart everybody rides on.
Got it.
And they've got audio. Actually, there's a customer that I talked to 2 weeks ago that's putting some cans on one right now, some KMTC 11s or 9s.
Okay.
Just because he wants to blow the competition away.
Well, if that's going to
be loud.
That'll do it.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So bar carts. So now I know what that is. And you said subwoofers underground.
Yep. So that's something that you can look up online. It's a thing. But I had a customer that wanted to put some L7S15s in band pass boxes underground and port out. Above ground. Or he did. I think he ended up doing 3 around his pool.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
So you designed
with a external port and then a cone on top of it to direct sound back down.
So you guys helped him design the band pass enclosure, and he buried it around his pool.
Yeah.
And vented it out, so bass underground.
Yeah.
Underground bass.
Yeah. Interesting for sure.
Well, that's better than the answer you had at lunch, because the answer at lunch was a deer in the headlights.
Yes, it was.
So it gave you a little bit of time to think about it.
Yeah.
One last question I'm going to take here from the feed. Razmataz Creations. Can you fix my 200.2 amp, 18 years old?
Best thing I could have you do is send pictures of the inside. Send it to warranty@kicker.com, and it'll get directed down to amp repair. And they'll be the ones who decide on that. It really comes down to if we have parts. It's starting to get hard to find parts for older amplifiers.
And probably, and correct me if I'm wrong on this, an amp that old, if it's just transistors or caps or blown FETs, probably no problem. If it's a blown circuit board and we no longer have boards available, that's a problem.
It becomes a much bigger problem.
So glad you answered. So basically, if they can take a picture of it, that'll help speed the process up.
Yeah, that'll let us know. You know, if we've got holes burnt in the board or anything like that, that's obviously going to be a much bigger issue. But if it's looks relatively clean, all the hardware is intact. If we're not trying to replace everything, more than likely it should be repairable.
And if you're uncomfortable taking the cover off an amp and doing a picture or something, if you are uncomfortable about that, what you can do is you can call to customer service. They will issue you a repair RMA number. Yep. You can then ship the amplifier to our repair department. They will then take it apart and they'll look at it, and they can do that determination for you. The only issue at that point is if it's a burnt board and we don't have boards anymore, or if it's a part that's no longer available, they would not be able to fix the amp, and then it would be your choice whether you want to pay to get it back or not.
That's correct, yeah.
So taking the picture can kind of help speed up the process or save you the shipping in if on something that old the parts aren't available.
Yeah, and if for some reason you do ship an amplifier in and it's not repairable, we do ship it back for free.
Chris, and I'm just going to say Rowski. Chris Rowski, C-E-J-R Rowski. Thanks, everyone. Got to take care of the kids. We'll be calling tomorrow. Thanks, Kip. Always learn something new. And Tim, nice to meet you, and we'll call. Tim, I think he meant Tim.
Yeah.
But this is Peter. So if you're calling Tim, he's behind the camera. If you're calling Peter, he's right here. Thanks, Chris. We certainly appreciate it. Okay, so with that said, Kicker, what's this one here? Kicker will do it for blow away the competition. Sure.
Bars out.
Do what?
I'm gonna get the bars out.
There's Ernie. He's getting his bars out.
Getting his bars out.
Let's see if there's one more. JW, is there anything good in the feed? Or are we done? There, I'm thinking that's his way of saying I want to go to B-dubs. So, folks, thanks for tuning in tonight. Hope you had a great time. As always, every Tuesday night, 7:30, we kick this thing off. We try to have a special guest, a good time, a neat product, a neat test, or a neat demo. Thank you all for tuning in. Congrats to the winners. Peter? Pleasure. We're going to have Peter come back and join us on a future episode as well. I think this went really well. Maybe we'll do Peter and High Five A together. Since they both seem to think they had a little bit of jitters, we'll put them together and they'll do the show by themselves, and I'll go sit in the back.
Maybe we can get Keyshawn as well.
Keyshawn, it'd be great if Keyshawn had actually come to the show that Keyshawn wanted to be on.
I agree.
Keyshawn. So with that said, as always, folks, it's my pleasure to be the knucklehead in front of the camera to say thank you. We got Tim behind here running the 3 cameras behind the scenes. We have our special guest, Peter, joining us tonight from up in customer service tech support. Ernie is always back on the main switcher, JW giving him a hand, and of course, Bill Frog handling social media. It's our pleasure to be the few guys who are fortunate enough to be out here in front of the camera, to be representing the 200 plus employees here at Stillwater Designs and Audio, or Kicker as you know us all. We will be here next Tuesday night, 7:30 Central Time. Going to be a great show. Don't know what it's going to be, but I know it's going to be fun. Everyone have a great week, have a great weekend, and we will see you next Tuesday. Have fun. See y'all.
Later.